All right, welcome back, guys. So as I talked about in yesterday's video, I got a lot of requests in regards to upgrading to LED lighting on the exterior of the truck. Now that I'm not changing out bezels, I'm not changing out headlight assemblies. This is merely going to be a bulb replacement, and reason being is because, again, like I said yesterday, aftermarket bezels are just not as good. And I don't care what anybody says, you can spend $1,000 on them, they're not going to last as long as these. If not, they're going to last the same or less. So, it's just one of those things. I don't want to do that. Secondly, I have auto high beams. That's one of my favorite features. So these stock headlights are actually reasonably bright for just being a halogen bulb. So we're going to go through some areas here. So again, this is more going to be like a drive. We're going to go and I'm going to show you what the lights do with auto high beams, because if I put the new LEDs in and they change the ability for that to work, those will come right back out and I'll just swap back. That being said, once I make that final install video, it's probably going to be several, because it's going to take some time to show everybody how to take a tail light out, headlight out, the third brake lamp out, and all that stuff. So I'm going to break those up into separate videos. And then what I'll do is this initial video, it will give everybody the opportunity to pull the other video up side by side, pause it in certain places in the exact same area, about this exact same time of day, and see the biggest difference in how it looks. Obviously I won't be behind me, so I can't do brake lights, but I will show you the rear tail lamps. But I'm also going to go through in the city, when you have ambient light from the actual light poles, sometimes regular halogen bulbs just kind of disappear, especially when they're dirty or when it's snowing. So I'm going to go through those real quick, those areas, and then we'll get into a dark area. So bear with me. All right, if you can see that is the stock fog lamp. Again, kind of like what I said, fog lamps are meant to be brighter at a lower angle to help in fog and snow and stuff like that, where you can't see it's far away. This allows you to see really good in front of you. And if we didn't change those halogen bulbs out also, obviously then the LEDs would just overrule them totally. So we want all of that brightness coming down. So again, that's the stock fog lamp, and then this is with the regular headlights on. And then again, then we go into here and we're going to turn the auto high beam on. All right, so here's the start of a city street with just normal ambient lighting. You can kind of see that as we go into the little shadows there is some light. Again, I've had other vehicles where that actually disappears completely, which is fine because you're in the city, you have plenty of ambient light, but I like to always have that light. Again, lights do a couple different things. One, they let you see where you're going, and then two, they also signal your intent. When you're using your blinkers, they got to be bright enough, and your headlights, they got to let people know that you're also there. They're communicating the distance and everything like that. So yeah, as we cruise up this hill, so like I said, for what they are, they're actually reasonably decent lights. They're not dim or bad or anything like that. Now, as I break down these individual videos, like I did the license plate light one first, I'm gonna break down those installs and then let people peruse them. Then I'm gonna come back after we get all of the bulbs in, which I should have them here all by today and tomorrow. Then we'll do the exact same drive, and that way, you, like I said, you can pull up the video, pause it, and be like, ooh, those lights look good there, or don't look good there, or this is what I think. And then we'll do a walk around of that. I already did a walk around of this at night, but I will do a final walk around of this when we get back to where we're gonna park. So that way, like I said, this will be the exact same drive that you'll get with the LEDs. All right, so from here, you can kind of just see like how the blinker itself is actually reflecting off of that turn only sign. So just to kind of put it in perspective, because on my F-350 they had the stock LED lamps from Ford, man, those things were super bright. And then the F-150 I had, super bright. I mean, you could see these things probably from the moon, it seemed like. I mean, they were such a crisp, good light that it was pretty good. And I can tell you that the OEM ones are probably always going to be best. Not saying that aftermarket LEDs are bad, I'm just saying that the quality is definitely different. And depending on what you go with, it doesn't really matter. They'll all have issues, just like the OEM one could too. So, but I just think that the OEM one is going to be built to work the systems better and last longer. But see you in just a second. All right, so now we're getting ready to go into probably the darkest area of my trip back from the gym, but this will give you a good idea. So you can see my indicator down there, the brights are currently on, and then up there is the auto high beam. So we'll just kind of see how this illuminates the road. Again, it does really well in consideration. And the fact that I like the auto high beams is because they dictate when they get a reflection or they pick up, the camera picks up a light, it automatically does that for you. So I like that. It's just an extra movie you don't have to do. So regular headlights right now, and there's our high beams. Our high beams are kicking off because they picked up a car. Now, most of you might think, though those headlights don't seem very bright. Well, again, we are in the city. There's a lot of ambient light. And out in the country, out in eastern Colorado, where I was out filming last week, you know, you can definitely see in the dark that they actually do pretty well. You know, most people just are, most people always want to upgrade that headlight, and especially on older vehicles, I highly recommend it, just because the bezels were smaller. They were trying that light was trying to get through glass, you know, stuff like that. Now, if your headlights were actually old and kind of hazed over and yellowed, you can clean that off, take some elbow grease, but you definitely can get that cleaned up and then slap some new bulbs. You don't need to swap out your headlight assemblies or your taillight assemblies necessarily, but the aftermarket is kind of flooded with especially older vehicle headlight and taillight bezels, so you can replace them fairly inexpensive, but just keep in mind those may not be as sealed as well. So if you go to the car wash, don't spray them too close, because it may go right through the edge, and then they'll fill up with steam, or fill up water, then the heat from the lights will actually make them steam up. So so from here, this is where some reference points are, so you can see the curve signs way up there. This is with the bright's on. You can kind of see that we can see from back there those signs. Now we'll see if we can pick up any other environment once we get the LEDs in. And then from here, like I said, you can see way down there, you can see the green sign. Again, the headlights are on. You can see those two curve signs, but I mean, they're kind of lighter at the bottom and then darker at the top. So maybe that LED will carry that light even further, pick those up even further. So, all right, now once we get to the stop point, I'm gonna just do a quick walk around, and then once I do the videos themselves where we do the replacements, I'm gonna just do one side at a time so we can try and see that side by side. Obviously, the LEDs are going to be brighter. Again, we need to make sure that they work with the OEM system, and that's, I'm not just talking about with the blinkers, I'm talking about with the IntelliBeam high beam settings. So, all right, guys, we'll see you in just a second. All right, last but not least, so we are parked here, so I'm going to put this here as a reference so you can see the hot spots. I mean, you can't really see the hot spot on the other side, but I mean, it basically puts the horizon right there, so that way you can kind of see. Now we're going to get around and walk around the outside just to give you again what the tail lamps look like. Some of the exterior lamps are already LEDs. Okay, this guy's already an LED. That's already an LED. We're going to swap out brake lamps and tail lamps, reverse lamp. Obviously I already swapped this out so you can just kind of see. LEDs usually have a white light, but you can get LEDs with a warm light, but everything we're going to put on here is going to be white light. So that's that. All right, so we didn't look at the actual third brake lamp yet, but so we're going to swap out marker lamps. There's two H13 bulbs in here. This LED will be then swapped out. This is gonna blind you a little bit, but, and then this is a halogen bulb down here, so we're gonna swap all of those out. Like I said, these are, it probably has to do with the way they constructed the light to maximize the bulb's power. I think they did real well with that. Let's look at the third brake lamp, or I won't be able to actuate that. I don't have any help. Let's just do the cargo lamp. Okay, so again, it's gonna look brighter than it is, but it's really kind of like a yellowish light. But in perspective, you can see just in the reflection, the Starkey kit for the LED bed lighting I put in. So that's already been done. And when I do that, I'll throw in the link in the bulb section on how to put those in. But you can see how bright that is in comparison to, let's just back up to that one. So very overpowering. So that is all the exterior lights. The interior lights I'm not doing anything with. Most of those are already pretty bright, and they may already be LEDs. So we'll go from there. All right, guys, see you on the next one. And do make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can keep track of the LED progress. That way you can know, oh, there's videos up. I'm gonna show you exactly how to take it out, how to do it in the easiest way, so you can get her done. Thanks.